Hey, Mayank. Harmeet.
Hi there.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so excited to have you guys share your thoughts, and thanks for joining. I think with that, I'm going to step out and let you guys take over.
Thank you, Chip.
Yep.
It's great to be here with you, Harmeet.
Pleasure. Same as mine. Looking forward to a great discussion.
Let's start it off with a quick round of introductions. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Workspan. Prior to co-founding Workspan, I was the CEO and founder of Aster Data Systems, where I had led the creation of big data category that has now had a big impact on this industry. Now in my current role as CEO and founder of Workspan, I'm leading the creation of an ecosystem cloud category so that companies can coordinate their ecosystems better and bring and go to market in a joint manner. And I'm delighted to have Harmeet here joining us today in a conversation. Harmeet is an experienced industry leader and is the SVP of Industrial and Engineering Services at Wipro. Harmeet, could you say a few words about your role and the work that your organization does for your customers?
Absolutely, Mayank. Firstly, it's a pleasure to be here. I run engineering services for Wipro Technologies based out of the Bay Area. In case people don't know what Wipro is an $8+ billion technology services company based out of Bangalore, India, with global operations and a history of about 35+ years, starting with building products for servicing the Indian market and then evolving itself to a global services company. In context of engineering services, what do we do? It's all about enabling innovation at scale for our customers. This is all about helping customers build products, platform, and technology and being relevant across the life cycle. We work across 11 different industries, and we also have a scale which is north of $1 billion. So it's one of the 4 businesses, Wipro Technologies, and I've had the honor and privilege to lead this organization, which is consisting of roughly 20,000 engineers. So good to be here.
Fantastic, Harmeet. The impact you must be having in that role and in your organization must be tremendous as you work with customers to help them engineer solutions and bring their solutions to market. And in fact, Wipro has had this service organization for a long time. What role have you seen as Wipro engages with your customers, and what role do partners in the ecosystem play in building these solutions with your customers and thereby driving innovation and bringing competitive differentiation to the market? Could you speak about that a bit?
Sure. So before I go there, it's important to understand what is engineering services. Engineering services is all about enabling innovation, but innovators are across different industries. So we work with customers to help anywhere from building chips to building hardware to building software products, right? And this industry, which is $54 billion plus strong, growing at about 11 to 12% year over year, closely aligned to the R&D spend and closely aligned working with chief product officers, chief technology officers, engineering leaders. It's all about helping them bring the products to market faster and doing it in a very efficient way. This industry initially began its journey around cost arbitrage to R&D efficiencies and now moved to co-innovation. Now, as this industry has taken that pivot to co-innovation, the need of innovation has gone beyond Silicon Valley. And we are seeing that across 11 different industries. Every legacy industry is moving online. Every industry is, thanks to IoT, Industry 4.0, 5G, the whole AI innovation which we're seeing, AI-led innovation, it's driving that journey. So our customers are really leveraging technology, people, and process coming together to really accelerate time to market. And this is where ecosystems play a very pivotal role. And secondly, customers are not having complete stack for them with themselves. If I take automotive industry as an example, everybody wants to compete with Tesla, but they don't have a complete stack. And how do you bring that complete stack so that you have a complete solution for the marketplace? And that's where companies like Wipro, leveraging our engineering DNA, our engineering services, are bringing together multiple technology companies to really help them innovate. We've done that recently for a very large technology company in the 5G management space, where they're working, they're leveraging our offering, they're leveraging our competitors' offering, and some of their own components to put together a new product out there. For them, if you had a Workspan kind of an offering, it made it easier for them to enable the ecosystem for product development and for innovation. So that's a quick perspective. As part of this, of course, the journey continues, and a lot of it is being driven by IoT and Industry 4.0 and 5G in the marketplace. So ecosystem is a very important dimension, increasingly, evidently, and it has to be done at scale.
So that's interesting. The pivot from delivering cost efficiencies in engineering towards helping foster co-innovation, right? As you bring different components from different technology companies together to build the full solution, and how to do it so that that product can land in the market faster.
Yeah.
So are there certain trends or best practices that you're seeing as customers work with each other, work with their partners in engineering these solutions? Is this cross-industry, is the fraction of solutions in which multiple companies play together, is that increasing? What's your perspective on this?
So as the need of digital transformation is increasing and it's getting compounded exponentially with the COVID scenario, where industry is moving to a new normal, we are seeing the significant pressure on time to market. Secondly, we are seeing non-technology companies becoming technology companies, whether it's an automotive, whether it's retail, whether it's a manufacturing, whether it's an oil and gas or a utility, whether it's even a simple pharma company. All of them have the need of innovation. So the need of innovation has gone beyond Silicon Valley. Let me put it that way. So when that is happening, and the pressure on time to market, and they don't have in-house expertise, they're trying to put ecosystems together. And that's where companies like Wepro are helping. And I'll give two examples. One is in the oil and gas industry, where the whole standardization is happening on data capture for upstream process. And multiple oil and gas companies have come together, but they're bringing a lot of IT expertise and domain of oil and gas, but they're missing the cloud dimension, the services dimension, and the new age technologies in terms of software applications. That they're dealing with legacy stuff. And this is where companies like Wipro are coming in. And if I take an example, is OSDU, which is an oil and gas industry consortium, where we, if with leveraging platforms like Workspan, can really enable the ecosystem dimension to help innovate. We are seeing that in automotive companies where there's a need of semiconductor to come in, there's a need of a lot of software operating system thinking to come in, but that's not core to automotive companies. And this is where companies like Wipro, where we're working with semiconductor companies, we understand how to build chips and put chips into connected products. We understand the technologies required from automotive perspective, anywhere from infotainment to ADAS to autonomous, and so that we can bring the dimension together. So we are seeing an increased need. It was already visible before COVID got here, and post-COVID, we expect this need to be much at an exponential level. There are many more examples across different industries, man.
Those are some really interesting examples. I had not thought about oil and gas also having an intense need to build engineered solutions. So what are the challenges that you're witnessing your customers face as they orchestrate the build and release of these joint solutions with their partners today?
So today, the need of putting joint solutions, joint offerings in the market, innovate to address time to market. If you go with a traditional route, you have to you get the agreements in place, but you're not dealing with IP. You're dealing with companies, trade insights, technology insights, which create revenue for them. It's core to them. In a very traditional way, they would, beyond the contractual paperwork, would be a lot of trust has to be built. A lot of manual governance has to be done. A lot of accountability has to be built. So as a result, they create large organizations on multiple pieces, and it takes time to ramp up those organizations, put those operating models in place, and operationalize. So that's the biggest challenge they face. So basically, if I see, there are 4 dimensions. You need to have trust, you need to put right governance, and you need to put right accountability, and it has to be agile. Those are the challenges that customers are facing. Now let's take example of 2 large Silicon Valley companies came together recently to enable contact tracing. But the expectation is contact tracing happens today, not 1 year from now or 2 years from now. Now, how do those 2 companies, which might be competing in the marketplace in certain dimensions, come together, innovate, and bring it to market? And there are many such examples out there. So this is where the ecosystem next offering from Wipro can really help bring these pieces together. So these are the challenges customers are facing. The other dimension as part of this challenge is you ideate the solution offering, you take it to the market, but how do you know it is relevant? How do you know that you're able to measure the output and the ROI of the investment you've done? So that's the other challenge they have. So they don't have a complete feedback loop. So if I'm a product manager of a new solution you're offering, a lot of it has to be done manually for me to understand if the solution or offering is right, it is addressing the right problem in the marketplace. So that's the other challenge they face. And if you're not in a technology industry, if you are in a legacy industry who's transforming at an aggressive pace, you might not even have the right tools. And that's where those challenges are coming in. The good news is they don't have any legacy partner tools to go to. So they can start greenfield and leverage Workspan for it.
So yeah, you mentioned an offering from Wipro, where Wipro has partnered with Workspan, and the offering is called Ecosystem NXT. Yeah. Can you share with our audience what is this partnership about and what is this offering?
Absolutely. So as Wipro Engineering Services is all about enabling innovation at scale, we have a portfolio of offerings called Engineering NXT. And this has building blocks around connected products, has building blocks around software, around data platforms, around connectivity, around Industry 4.0 and IoT. As we've been working through with our customers, it's increasingly evident, as I reflected earlier, that technology is playing a significant part. It's not just people and process. And this is where the need of Wipro to work with ecosystems and enable the access to ecosystem to our customers has become super critical. And that's where we are rolling out the offering of Ecosystem NXT. Now, I can give an example, which is public. We worked with Intel on their AI program and took their technology building blocks. And we worked with our customer called DC Water and really came up with a solution to really help DC Water improve or accelerate the time it takes for them to do an infrastructure audit or inspection of the sewage infrastructure. And we are able to cut down the time it takes by a significant margin, right? Now, now what happens? Now you take that offering, now you enable that offering to be used by multiple other utilities on behalf of our customer DC Water. So we are enabling our customer to also help them monetize the innovation, leveraging our expertise of utilities, leveraging our expertise of a semiconductor industry, and leveraging our know-how of AI. So it's a combination of our services, our expertise, and bringing customers, different industries together and create a new solution offering, which can then be taken to market and help monetize for our customers. So that's an increased need we are seeing. I talked about oil and gas example, and there are many other examples in the area of, when you look at IoT, when you look at Industry 4.0, You're bringing a cloud dimension, you're bringing a software product dimension, you're bringing device dimension, you're bringing a service provider. Now, Wipro, who understands how to build products and understand the complete product life cycle, or a technology life cycle, or a platform life cycle, for us to really orchestrate and enable our customers to get the benefits of IoT or Industry 4.0, it's important we have an ecosystem perspective. And that's how Wipro is creating value for our customers.
So under the ecosystem NXT offering, you engage with the customer, you understand the business problem and the solution that the customer is wanting to engineer. You contribute to those engineering services, and as components of that engineering solution might require components coming from your customers' partners. Because Wipro Engineering Services has a lot of expertise and skills, you could accelerate how those components can be baked into your end customer solutions. Right? So all of this engineering is being coordinated on behalf of the customer, including engagement with the customer's partners to ultimately deliver a solution on schedule and accelerate the customer's time to market on that solution.
Absolutely. And recently, thanks to COVID, there's a lot of political debate on it, and there's a genuine need of it is to have a lot more agility in supply chain, a lot more control on supply chain. But you need innovation, you need platforms to go do that. And that's where no one company has single expertise. And manufacturing organizations are saying, can people, industry consortium come together and can help put solutions and offerings and do it at scale? Now, as Wipro, as part of a services portfolio, we understand AI, we understand the operating stack of manufacturing, which takes care of additive manufacturing, data migration, CAD, PLM, all of those dimensions. Now, how do you do that? How do you orchestrate it? And that's where is another example where our services are coming to play. It's very going to be evident in 5G as 5G gets adopted in the enterprise. There's no one single company which can orchestrate the complete 5G network for an enterprise and multiple ecosystems. So our know-how of building products, whether it's in the network equipment provider space, whether it's in software space, whether it's in devices, whether it's pure software products, our experience of building those products for our customers, we are leveraging that expertise, that know-how to enable this journey. And doing it by accelerating time to market.
Harmeet, in this coordination as part of ecosystem NXT, how could a platform like Workspan help Wipro and help ultimately the customer get their solutions built out? How could Workspan's platform help address the challenges that you mentioned around governance, agility, and coordination? Would you give our audience a sense of that?
Absolutely, and a great question. So, the biggest value proposition Workspan brings is to really able to enable a product manager to ideate a solution offering, talk to the partners, and take that idea and put it into an automated workflow so that teams can work together to develop and take that journey forward to building a product or solution and bringing it to market. Now, this is where if you really want a rapid increase and rapid turnaround of that idea or solution and offering, an external partner like Wipro, who happens to know the experience and expertise of working on your products and your partners' products, a platform as well, we can bring that knowledge, we bring it together, and we can help manage you to leverage Workspan as a platform to go do that. And it addresses the problem of, as I said, of trust, agility, accountability, and brings governance. So it brings very high degree of transparency, both for Wipro as service provider and the companies who are coming together, which are seeking Wipro's help to enable the journey of either building a new solution offering or leveraging Workspan as a platform, which becomes a core part of product development engine to it. We have done that recently, but not with, it was done in a very manual way. And a product in the 5G space, the whole Workspan whole schedule was roughly 10 to 12 months. But 3 to 4 months was wasted in getting the organizations together and getting them on the same page and then get going. Now, if I had the opportunity at that time to leverage Workspan, I would have been able to cut that time by 3 to 5 months. And I would have had a lot more transparency, a lot more clean governance, and that company would have benefited by shipping a product possibly 5 to 6 months before now they're scheduling. So that's a lost opportunity. And that's where, as Wipro, we're leveraging our expertise. And by bringing Workspan in, it is enhancing Wipro's ability to create value for our clients in that dimension.
Yeah, shaving off, 3 to 5 months is a really big thing. That means the solution can get to market faster and the revenue generation exercises can start at a faster pace.
Exactly, and that's an ROI which is immediately paid off if a customer invests in Workspan and Wipro expertise, where Wipro understands Workspan, Wipro understands companies' products and platforms, and their partners as well, bringing it together.
Now, Harmeet, as you look through the COVID lenses, have you noticed that your customers have adapted to building new kinds of solutions? And is the fraction of joint offerings from a customer that includes their partner products, is that increasing? What's been your perspective as in the recent market shifts that have happened?
In last 4 to 8 weeks, we have seen two things. One, the need of putting new ideas and solutions in the market and doing it in a the fastest possible way is very visible. I talked about contract tracing, where it's a public information, so there's nothing NDA about it, where Google and Apple have come together to go do. And so many technology companies are addressing that aspect. Many medical devices companies had to reorient their manufacturing line to build ventilators. They were not building that. Many automotive companies have realized that the need to autonomous has to move much more accelerated. So I can keep going on and on and on, but I think what we are seeing is the Industry 4.0 conversations, the need of accelerating the journey to a model-based enterprise has gone up based on conversations we are having in last 4 to 8 weeks with the customers. So when I look at that dimension, what we see is the innovation which is already around us is getting accelerated. And that's creating the need to partner even more than ever before. It is creating a need for a company like Wipro, for us as a services player, experience across multiple technology sets and multiple industries to really bring that home. And in a traditional way, any services company would have struggled to do it because you're dealing with companies' IPs, core technologies, and that there's no way to bring transparency and governance beyond the contracts and beyond the trust which is get built over a period of years by working with them. So when we leverage Workspan as a platform, it gives us a technology play which everybody can look to and give them a lot more comfort to get it done. Secondly, there's no time. You don't have traditional way of 3 months, 6 months to build an organization to go do it. This gets, and so thirdly, it allows you to iterate much faster. So you might not get it right the first time. So you get good feedback loop, good market feedback, and close it as well. And that's where we believe collectively as Wipro and Workspan, we can add value in the new COVID normal.
Yeah, at Workspan, we're tremendously excited of partnering with you because Wipro has such a rich history of practice leaders and skills that have helped bring a tremendous number of solutions to market. And as partnering gets more steam in this current environment, I'm really looking forward to working on this partnership with you and seeing how we can benefit our customers together.
No, absolutely, Mayank, and we look forward to engaging in the customer community who is attending this webinar as well. And we are actually having an active conversation with some of our large customers as well to really bring this together. And in case anybody wants to talk to Wipro, I'm reachable on harmeet.chauhan@wipro.com, and look forward to building this partnership and creating value for our customers.
On that note, let's open it up to the audience. Would there be any questions, Chip, from the audience that you would send our way?
Yes, a couple of questions have come in. So great presentation, first of all, guys. This was really interesting, and I love hearing about the effects in because you guys are so deeply involved in so many industries. To hear all the case stories for you know, they're really interesting, making it real, right, bringing it to life. So one of the questions is, Harmeet, what part of supply chain manufacturing sector has the strongest spending initiatives for your offering? And if you can, please share a success story.
So we've been working with pharma companies, we're working in automotive companies, and we recently started engaging medical devices. I can't give customer names, we maintain confidentialities around it. But what we have seen is both in the European automotive sector and in the US automotive sector, there is increased engagements, and we just started in some of them recently, to really innovate on the supply chain. And the biggest data point we are seeing is harmonization of the complete supply chain infrastructure. And this is where there is heterogeneity of technologies being used, whether it's PLM, whether it's the CAD systems, across different industries. And automotive companies specifically are looking for ways to really harmonize the whole infrastructure, and doing it in a way where it's cost efficient and it's not rip and replace of technology. It's about getting the best of them to work with that. And this is where the partnership dimension is helping us in that direction.
Great. Another question actually just came in, so keep them coming. Keep the questions coming. What are the key trends you're seeing with telcos, especially around 5G, edge, IoT, et cetera, and how various companies across different sectors are coming together for joint innovation? An interesting one.
Yeah, that's a very logical one. We are seeing an increased need from enterprise from communication service providers to really enable ecosystem around IoT and Industry 4.0. Now, it's still early days, still nascent days, and depending on you're talking to the companies in North America as compared to Europe to Asia Pacific, the maturity is varying as well. But to give you some reference, some examples, we have seen in Europe the whole aspect of Open RAN innovation to leverage the 5G dimension for 5G. This is where partnership dimension is coming to play, because multiple companies are coming together to enable the 5G network. But companies are innovating in business models, saying, how do I take this and monetize it as an offering to enterprise customers? Secondly, what we are seeing is network equipment providers are looking to companies to partner with companies like Wipro to really take that joint solution offering to enterprise customers and help them orchestrate, basically understand what the network will look like, whether it's an IoT, whether it's an Industry 4.0, and leveraging even the 5G dimensions, and then help engineer it and then operate it. So what we're seeing is the conversation in the earlier world was just operate it. Now the conversation is, can you help it design, engineer, and then operate it? So those are the examples we're seeing. Now, I would say Europe and Asia Pacific are a bit more aggressive and a bit more matured in their approach to partnerships because there's large volume of it. In North America, we're seeing some consolidations. So I would say that not enough good examples in North America yet from our perspective.
Good. Actually, some more questions coming in. One question here is, can you elaborate on Modeless Enterprise?
if I understand the question, is model-based enterprise, right?
Model-based, okay.
So model-based enterprise is all about the principles of Industry 4.0, right? And this is where it's about connecting the product development part of the dimension to supply chain dimension to the shipment dimension. And this can connect the IT systems, the OT systems, coming together in a very unified platform. So model-based enterprise is a research topic of its own, and I'm not a guru of it, but let me frame an example. The biggest need you're seeing is in a manufacturing setup where you need to bring the connectivity. So all the plants need to be completely connected, automated. You have robotic dimension, you have a industrial internet connection. And then all of that dimension is being done with minimal headcount. So productivity dimension is the leading edge. But all that production which is happening is getting connected to the ordering systems, to the product development systems on a real-time basis. So that harmonization of data flow, which is happening across the value chain of a supply chain and product development, is really getting redefined. And that's where model-based enterprise is becoming a new way of measuring ourselves, that are you Industry 4.0 ready? And this is where technologies are coming in, and this is where the need of migrating data is becoming very, very imperative. And this is where the cultural dimensions of CIO and the product groups and the supply chain groups coming together onto a single platform. This is where the ERP systems are getting connected to the engineering systems, to innovations. And that's the disruption which is becoming visible.
Good. Maybe one last question.
But I just took a stab. So, yeah,
What's that?
I'm not the best expert at it, but give me a point of view.
Yeah. One last question. How soon will customers see the benefit of the Ecosystem Next offering?
We are already talking to a few of our customers, the large customers, and we expect the benefits to be visible to them in the coming quarters. But having said that, the biggest difference in Ecosystem NXT offering and what we were doing before is, it's not that we were not doing that before. I talked about examples of enabling ecosystem. Now we're taking that in a more structured way, in a much structured offering. So our customers are already seeing value. It's just that now our ability to create value is getting accelerated, getting enhanced. So I expect that to happen in the near future.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm going to step out and Mayank, let you guys wrap it up.
Thank you, Chip. Those were very interesting questions, and Harmeet, appreciate the insightful answers. I remember 10 years ago when I was in the big data space, what really triggered that market to open up is when we defined the enterprise data lake architecture that laid out, what role would different services play when customers, create their own big data solution. And that created the space for data warehousing companies to work with Hadoop companies as partners to solve the customer's end problem. Analytics service providers could then come in and say, how would they access data from Hadoop or data warehousing, so that they could then build their own value-added offerings around it. So ultimately, defining an architecture that is an open architecture that gives permission for partners to come together and coordinate and create derivative solutions that accelerate time to value for the end customer. That was the key thing. Until that got unlocked, the market did not open up. And learning from that experience, I'm thinking that the remarks that you made about multiple partners coming together so that they could create a joint solution and bring it to market faster. Right? There's this entire need of defining architectures, defining governance models, then coordinating in a trust-based manner across how these offerings can come to the market. I guess a lot of expertise has been developed since my time over the last 10, 15 years. And it's tremendous to see an ecosystem NXT kind of offering coming from Wipro that includes Workspan as a platform that could really drive a lot of value to customers, to our joint customers who are bringing innovative solutions to market.
No, absolutely, man. Firstly, it's a pleasure to talk to you, and the industry impact you have created personally, and I think with Workspan now, it's huge. Fortunately for Wipro, with engineering DNA and a 35 years of journey and diversity of experience across different industries, and a global scale, when we bring those together, those three multiple dimensions together, is as possibly positioning us to create the impact on the industry, which is super critical. And in the new normal world of COVID, we are seeing, and touching on the data dimension, this is where we're bringing our pedigree of building large high performance computing systems, building large scalable platforms for our customers. That expertise is available, and that expertise very, very, very proud of, and we're leveraging those dimensions. So I would say that multiple aspects of Wipro expertise are really coming together to enable ecosystem NXT. The interesting challenge we have as Wipro is the pace of that change and the pace of need of ecosystem is increasing, and it's in our face on a monthly basis. If I had this conversation 1 year ago to now, it's a forcing function. So if you are not there, our ability to create value and doing it at scale for our clients is highly muted. So we're excited about this opportunity, and we're looking forward to creating value for our customers, working very closely with you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Harmeet. Really great session. Thank you, everyone.